where we are. Make sure I'm actually in camera because I'm sitting somewhere new. Where'd it go? You're not popping up on Facebook. Oh, there we are. There we are. Okay. All right. Cool. Yay. Okay. So I got a little Leia here next to me. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. I thought this would be just a little fun, something a little different. Plus, what we're going to talk about today is actually specific for the holidays, is specific to the end of the year. Normally, what I bring to you guys comes from questions or concerns, emails, communications I have with you, either the last couple of weeks or the last month, or just recently. I don't usually take content ideas from questions and concerns that I get in December when we're now sitting in March. It's whatever I've heard of in March. So today, the last week or so, one of the things that I have been getting questions about is how to maintain self-care. The things that you need to do through the holiday that just keep you healthy, keep you centered, keep you grounded, keep you from feeling that overwhelming, I'm back where I started feeling. Do you know what I mean? That one where you feel like you made so many strides, but then now here you are, you've overindulged. I totally overindulged last night, you guys. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we made sugar cookies. I've never made sugar cookies. I'm trying. I think it would be fun for the boys, but after the amount of work, kudos to every single one of you who make sugar cookies, who roll them out, who cut them, who decorate them. Holy crap, that's a lot of work. So anyway, I finished them up last night because there were 4 cookies left. Now the cookies are like this big. So we're not talking little. We're talking like I should have had one and be done with it. But I was writing out the holiday cards and they were sitting there. So, munch, munch, munch. And now they're gone. And all's well in the world because there are no cookies in the house anymore. But I didn't wake up feeling like I had destroyed everything. Now this it comes after years of practice. This was not always the case. And I know from speaking with several of you just over the last couple of days, this is a challenge right now. This is a mental challenge and it can be very defeating. And there's a lot of reasons for it. So we're going to go into a couple of things that happened during this season. Just as a reminder, it's going to be quick, you guys. It's quick and easy in that part because you're probably already feeling it. If you're still watching at this point, you're feeling it. So I don't need to tell you how you're feeling. But just to kind of get a little insight into why and a little reminder of why you're feeling this way and why it's something that is pretty typical for this season. We're going to go over that. And then stick with me because I've got 10 tips for you that are going to help you get through the next couple of weeks. They help really during any time of the year, but so that you're still staying mindful, so that you're here, so that you're present, so that you're just flat out enjoying this season. Because regardless whether you celebrate Christmas like we do, or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or any number of the other holidays that occur during this time of year, it's a special time. It's a special time for the entire world. Just 2 years ago, we were staying home. We were scared to get together. We weren't able to say anything. My poor boys, man. And they don't know. They have no clue. So 2020 happened. First Christmas, they were 6 months old. So 2 days from now, they'll be 2.5 officially. And they were NICU babies. So 6 weeks early. That actually means they were 6 months, 4.5 months adjusted. So technically they were 4.5 months. Okay. They were not 6 months like a full-term baby would be. They were 4.5 months. Getting together with others was questionable. I don't really remember what happened. The first year, they were all going to go to my sister-in-law's house, and then everybody in her house got sick. And I was like, I think we're going to keep them home. We're just going to keep them home. And we didn't go because we were trying to protect them. But COVID 2020, we had been in shutdown, we had been out of shutdown, we had been back in shutdown and back out of shutdown. Everybody was scared. That was just 2 years ago, you guys. And then last year, the boys got sick over Christmas. So hopefully this year, we will be able to go and celebrate Christmas with my husband's family so the boys can experience it for the first time. But I say all of that because I want you to remember where you were 2 years ago. Before COVID, I think had I said, you need to enjoy each moment, let it come, be present, a lot of you would have looked at the screen and said, you don't understand. We now have something that we can look at and say, this is what happens when the world shuts down, when there are things outside of our control that, I don't want to say destroy, but hinder our desire to celebrate this season with the people that we love, right? So as you're listening to me talk, as you're celebrating through the holidays, remember this thing. Regardless of what has happened this year to you, whether it's something traumatic, devastating, or something joyous and enjoyable and like overwhelmingly exciting, never forget this time is time for you to celebrate life, celebrate the season. It, from my perspective, and regardless of what religion you celebrate, what beliefs you hold, I think this applies. Obviously, personal opinion. Don't come at me too harshly. This is the time to reflect back on the past year and all of the moments and the memories that you have had with all your loved ones, with yourself, good and bad. I mean, that there's going to be good and bad every single year. It's nothing that we can do about it. It's the cycle of life. Does it suck sometimes? Yep. And you and I can totally agree on that. So let's get into this, shall we? So first and foremost, I love my stats. Love them, love them, love them. So I went into NAMI with it. If you don't know, it's the National Association of Mental Illness. And I hesitate with association because all of a sudden my brain went, I think it's association. So NAMI, mental illness. Okay, that's what they focus on. I love their stats. I love what they produce as far as content. They seem to have a lot of valuable content. If someone else out there has some feedback on that, check it below. We like to share some info and give each other good feedback, right? We're educating each other. That's our goal here. All right. So according to NAMI, 64% of people who suffer from mental illness of any kind say that the holidays actually intensifies their symptoms. It makes them feel worse, effectively. It intensifies their symptoms. So if they're suffering from anxiety, depression, whatever the case may be, it feels worse during the holiday. And there can be a couple of reasons why. Now, just overall general public, in recent studies, and we're talking 2021, so I made sure to get beyond COVID because I think that a lot of the numbers pre-COVID for the holidays are skewed a little bit considering what we've experienced the last couple of years. The top 3 feelings during the holiday: depression, anxiety, and loneliness. Things just feel worse during this time of year. And there's a couple of reasons why. There's obviously strain on finances. There's concern over weight, and that kind of goes to the whole, oh my gosh, I'm overindulging, and am I going to put myself back into being sick, or am I going to continue my progress and move forward? All of these things they're simple human nature that we think and we feel, and human beings feel it. There's no, just because you have an autoimmune condition or you have chronic illness, doesn't mean you're the only one that feels that. Even people without chronic illnesses, even people who are 100% healthy, strict diet, strict everything, healthy to a T, feel these things during the season. The difference is how they respond to it. So you're either in reactive mode or you're in proactive mode, right? We want to be in proactive mode. Why does any of this matter? And why am I talking about it? I've been doing gut health for months, right? So why does this matter? 70% of your immune cells are found within your gastrointestinal system, right? So they're found in your gut. If your gut is unhealthy, then your mental health is impacted, your physical health is impacted, you start feeling like crap again, you stop sleeping well, you start craving sweet and salty treats, which guess what the treats of the season are? All of these things become this cyclical, I'm going to say cyclical cycle. So it becomes this cycle. And you're in this hamster wheel every year where your brain starts thinking, this is normal. It doesn't have to be normal. Let's dial it back for a minute. When you have an autoimmune condition, whether it is a dysfunction, whether it has been diagnosed an illness, a disease, regardless of what that diagnosis is, your autoimmune condition makes these symptoms of mental illness worse, especially when your stress levels increase. So if this season causes you stress in any way, shape, or form, we're 2 weeks out from the end of the year. So from the financial strain perspective, there may not be a lot that you can do this year, but there are things that you can put into place between now and next year. Now, I am not a financial expert, so I'm not the one you talk to about that. But if that seems to be an overriding element within the season for you, look at how you can make it easier on yourself. Ultimately, that's all you're trying to do. You're just trying to make this all easier. Healthy living does not have to be difficult. That is a misnomer. That is what marketing and media want you to think. It's not true. Okay. It can be easy. It can be very, very simple to just put in practices that help you get through the season with this huge smile on your face. You're enjoying it. You know, those people you see, like, man, they're enjoying so much of this season. How do they do it? You know, they're all smiles, they're laughing, they're genuinely happy. They they just seem to have it all, right? They seem to have it all together. And all you notice is their shoulders are relaxed, they're not up in their ears, they're standing up nice and tall, their breath is normal, they're not zooming side to side, fidgeting, and not because of ADHD, you guys. But you know that fidget that you get when you're super stressed, you're super anxious, and the simple conversation you're having, hi, how are you doing? What's up? How's the kids? How's the grandkids? How's the parents? How's your friends? How's your work? How's whatever? You're having this simple conversation catching up, but your brain's going, no, 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 we got to do this, that fidget. There are people that don't do that, but it took practice to get to that point. So what I'm going to give you is a list of 10 things that you can start doing today, put into place so that they will help you during this holiday season. And then come next year, you will have these in place. And the holiday season will feel 100 times better than it ever has. So let's get to it, shall we? I found it funny because on one of mine, I write it 3 times and we'll get there. I'll tell you why. But every time I look at my little cheat sheet here, it makes me laugh because you guys, there are some simple things that we should be doing every day anyway. And that's really what a lot of this is. But they start to feel overwhelming when your world incorporates something new. Holiday season, we incorporate new things, things that we don't normally have throughout the year. So the goal right now is to not just get through the next 2 weeks, it's to enjoy the next 2 weeks. genuinely enjoy the next few weeks. All right. So here's how we're going to do that. So, very first thing, me time. You want me time. And mamas, don't give me any of that, oh my gosh, I can't do it. It may not look the way you want it to look. It may not. And I get the rush of having kids during the day. I have twins. I don't know what it's like to have more than two. And I'm telling you right now that if you do and they're at home, kudos. Because they're in a place right now where sometimes they nap and sometimes they don't. And if they don't, my getting me time, it's put off. It means that I won't get a little bit of breathing room, a little bit of just decompression time until much later. Now, we have a bathroom right next to their playroom. Okay. I have totally gone in there and shut the door and just taken a couple minutes to breathe. I can hear what they're doing. I know what the situation is where they're at because I know what I've put in their playroom. Set yourself up a situation like that. And if you don't have kids, it's okay. You might still be extremely swamped with work. Same suggestion. You want to get some breathing space where it's just you. You could do it in the shower. Just take a little extra long shower. And before any environmental people come at me, an extra couple minutes for mental well-being, to me, is okay. You can take a bath. Bath actually covers a couple of these. So now, once you have this me time, what do you do with it? Well, there's a couple of different things that you can do. So my second tip is to practice gratitude every day. That does not mean you have to only see gratitude in everything, but practicing gratitude every day, that suggestion comes from what you focus on grows, right? What you water flourishes. If you start focusing on gratitude every single day, then what ends up happening is your brain automatically looks for the positive, the uplifting, the joy of the day. Quite frankly, that joy of the day could be I got out of bed. I did not snap at anybody when they went out the door. I had a cup of coffee and sat on the couch for like a minute. I got to take a sip on the couch. It can be something as off the wall as that. It doesn't have to be anything major. And there's a couple of different ways you can do this. So if focusing on something positive every day and finding a positive thing every day is a challenge for you, so here's some options with that. All right. Find a couple of affirmations that speak to you. Quotes, meditations, prayers. If you read the Bible or you read any of the other religious texts, something within those that speaks to you. You could read that every single day. You could listen to something if writing's not your thing. And make it simple. Practice gratitude without making it an overwhelming action. Everything that we're talking about today is very simple. It's things that you're supposed to be incorporating in your day-to-day life anyway, but stress comes up and we forget those. So first is me time. Second is practicing gratitude. 3 is exercise, breathing, and meditation at some point throughout your day. Now, these can happen during your me time as well. And it can be as simple as just breathing in and breathing out. The school where the boys are at, and I've mentioned this before, I love this, you guys. It's so simple. Sniff the flowers and blow out the candles. Imagine a flower in front of you. Whatever your favorite flower is, imagine that flower in front of you. Sniff. Now, that flower is now turned into a beautiful candle that's lit 5 to 10 times. It does amazing, wondrous things to reset your brain, ground it. It works with toddlers. It's going to work with adults. So when you hit a moment that feels overwhelming, sniff the flowers, and blow out the candles. And if that doesn't work, go check yourself into the bathroom, into the shower, into a closet, into a quiet room, garage, outdoors, the conference room, I don't care. Sit there and just breathe. Close your eyes, just breathe. That's it. Meditation is something that some people are really good at, some people aren't. You can use any number of the apps. The Calm app, we use Moshi for the boys. It actually does have some adult versions as well, intermingled in there. They have some guided meditation, which if you're not a long-time practicer, the guided meditation works really, really, really well. Okay. It helps you work through it. With Calm, you could do a 30-second, you could do a minute, you could do 5 minutes. You really don't need a lot of time. Those 5 breaths, those 5 flower and candle things takes you less than 5 minutes. And actually, I think when I added it up, I think it was like 2 minutes max. And that's because I was breathing really slowly. All right. So number 4, be mindful of your stress levels. Don't let your stress levels get to such heights and intensity that you're now in overwhelm and you're chasing recovery. Proactive means getting in front of it, right? And granted, there are things that are outside of our control. There are totally things outside of our control. I get it. But if you can be mindful and pay attention to where your stress levels are, you have a better chance of managing those throughout the season and not letting your stress levels get to the point that it destroys your enjoyment or it impacts your enjoyment negatively. Okay. That brings us to number 5. Be present. If you're mindful of your stress levels, then you're present in the moment. Okay. Don't get so caught up in this is coming next, and this is coming next, and this is coming next, and this is coming next. If you're at Judy's party, enjoy Judy's party. If you have to sit before Judy's party and make a list, all the things rolling around in your head, if you got busy brain, write it all out. Get it out of your head. Okay? Put it on a piece of paper. Record it in your phone if you had to. Get it out of your head so that you don't have to struggle with that while you're trying to be present and trying to be mindful. Because that reactive phase that we're trying to avoid, if you're trying to fight that, then you're distracted during every single conversation you're trying to have, every single movement you're trying to make. And you really just can't enjoy the moment. So be present. Do what you have to do to be present. If you have to write it down, get it out of your head, record it. I don't care. Tell somebody. Doesn't matter. Put it somewhere that it's not up here on the hamster wheel. Okay. And number 6 is going to really help with you or help you with that. Eat well. Follow the 80-20 rule. Eat well 80% of the time. 20% is your indulgence. Okay. I'm not talking about each individual day. I'm talking about overall within a week, within 2 weeks, however you want to look at it. Okay. And supplement as needed. Here's what I mean by that. I'm not talking about herbal supplements. What I'm talking about is if you are on vacation, you're enjoying all this food, right? Or you're traveling for the holidays. I know a lot of people are getting ready to go out of town this week. We're leaving Saturday. So what's going to end up happening is I'll have some green juices. I won't necessarily have a blender with me, but I can take green juices with me and I can drink those to get the infusion of micronutrients. That's what I'm talking about. If you have a blender available, that's absolutely fabulous. You can stop at a grocery store. You can get little smoothie packs and some juice, or smoothie packs and some coconut water, which is a great electrolyte, you guys. Amazing electrolyte. And a little bit of milk, some yogurt. There you go. You got your smoothie. Okay. Fruit, coconut water. Okay. And you can do either coconut water and milk or coconut water by itself. Yogurt. I use yogurt. as my protein. Now, there are a variety of other smoothie recipes out there, but I'm keeping it simple because you'll be traveling. There's also, I noticed in the grocery store, some of the fruit companies, some of the farmers, the large commercial farmers, have created smoothie kits that are in the freezer. And what they are is they're little hunks of pureed fruits and coconut, and I think one has avocado, just a variety of different things, right? And what you're supposed to do is you pour that into a cup, a shaker cup, put liquid, shake it until it's smoothie texture, and it effectively melts these cubes to the point that you end up with a slushy. So you have a smoothie without having a blender. Pretty cool idea. And that's what I mean by supplementing. When you're out and you're enjoying, you may not get the fruits and the vegetables you normally eat. So supplement. You can drink those suckers in the car. You don't have to sit down and have a meal. You can just drink it on the way. It's quick and easy. It doesn't have to be a lot of calories. It can be something as simple as this is your drink on the way to this massive dinner. It's not going to fill you up. You're still going to eat all your favorite foods. You're still going to enjoy it. But rather than going into this meal and not having any fruits and vegetables or fully processed, heavily saturated with, fats and oils, vegetables, you've already had a infusion of micronutrients. So now it's okay. Go eat, enjoy. You've taken care of the health part. That indulgence is just 20%. Go enjoy it. Go enjoy it. Eat well, supplement as necessary, follow the 80-20 rule. Very simple. All right. Number 7 talks about what happens when you feel overwhelmed. Okay. If you know that during certain points of your holiday season, you feel overwhelmed and you feel like everything is just building up, 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 and there's no release, schedule a release. I'm going to employ you to do this. I know it may feel overwhelming. Once you get to that point where you are overwhelming, it can feel just like it's just the straw that broke the camel's back. Our brain, as fantastic as our brain is, as fantastic as it is, does not have the best timing. If you feel overwhelmed, stress, finances, weight, family, whatever the case may be, and you're just feeling like you don't know how much longer you can hang on, you don't know how much longer you can handle this without blowing up, schedule a blow up time. I am dead serious right now. Mama Gina calls it swamping. I love this idea. Put some music on. Blast the sucker. Scream into your pillow. Dance. Stomp around. Throw a toddler tantrum. No joke. Throw a freaking temper tantrum. Make sure you're not going to throw anything that's going to break. Throw the soft stuff, not breakables. But seriously, throw a freaking temper tantrum. Get it out. Cry. Sing with the songs at the top of your lungs. And for those of you with limited amount of time, you can still schedule this. It might be bedtime, but that's actually not a bad thing. Because when you give your brain permission, when you give yourself permission to let it out, you give yourself permission to experience and just feel your feelings. First of all, it's exhausting. So it's okay if it's at bedtime because you're going to get all this stuff out and then you're going to be absolutely exhausted because you've finally released what's been holding you back. And by holding on to it, by not letting it go anywhere and just dealing, right? What happens is you're now decreasing the quality of your sleep because your brain is now busy brain, right? Remember, busy brain, get it written down. This suggestion is for when writing it down, talking, when that doesn't work. This is the overwhelming feeling of nothing is going to help. Swamp, you guys. Mama Gina had it right. Swamp. If we need to schedule a swamp, let me know. I will schedule one. We'll put the event out and I will put the music together. I'm probably going to tap into some of you who are much more expert at being a DJ. But I am happy to put that together for you so that you can have a dedicated time and space to swamp. Do I think that's necessary? No, but some of you, it might be a little bit easier for you guys to, if it was scheduled. And if that's the case, let me know, either in the comments or privately. It's perfectly fine. All right. Once you swamp, once you let it out, it's time to get moving. Now, get moving is an all year thing, right? Get moving. Make sure that your movement, your activity is at least 20 minutes a day. And here's why. Releases endorphins. Endorphins, happy genes, one of many, correct? And those happy genes help you manage stress. They help improve your mood. They help improve your craving so you can eat the foods that help improve your mood. And the foods that give you energy, which also help improve your mood and decrease your stress levels. All of this comes back to stress levels go down, gut health improves, right? Because your immune system is no longer trying to fight stress. It is not distracted. It is being fed well. It has what it needs. So it's running optimally. And when you're feeling good, when you feel happy and joyous and grateful and positive, that's how you know that well, it's one of many ways that you know that your immune system is in a higher quality at the moment, right? It's higher functioning. All right, here's my last two. And this is the one that makes me laugh all the time because every time I write this down in my notes, you guys, I write the word 3 times. Hydrate. I don't know why I write it 3 times. I do a lot of things 3 times. But hydrate, I write 3 times. I think just because I want to emphasize it. So rather than, making the words very, very heavily texted, heavily written and thick, I write it 3 times. You can do everything else, right? Eat 80-20, all of it. The mindset practices, the meditation, the affirmations. You can swamp, you can breathe, you can have me time, you can do all of it. But if you are not hydrated, all those helpful, beneficial things don't get to flow through your body well. So, hydrate. Make sure you are well hydrated. Pay attention to your urine, pay attention to your skin, pay attention to your eyes, pay attention to the moisture in your mouth as well as your nose. All of these are indicators of whether you're well hydrated or dehydrated, hyperhydrated or not, or hypo or not. Is that right? No, hyperhydrated or not. Your urine really is the easiest. So I know some of you are going to get grossed out when I say watch your pee, but seriously, watch your pee. If it is like a pale lemon yellow, then you're actually really good. That means you're well hydrated. If there's no aroma to it, if it is not warm, if it just feels like, body temperature, there's no warmth or coolness to it, it's just liquid, leaving the body, you're good. Okay, those are all signs of a well hydrated body. Now, very, very, very last one. I saved this one for last because I think it is crucial. And I think many of you who asked me about this topic could use this suggestion on repeat. Okay, this is not a negative dig toward anybody. It's some of us have these ideals drilled into the back of our head. That perfect holiday, right? The perfect thing. And when things aren't perfect, it feels much more traumatic and devastating than it's healthy. I'm not going to say than should be because that depletes your desire, and that depletes and disrespects your desire for that perfect holiday. When you look at perfect, it creates a stressed situation before you have done anything. So when you're trying to have the perfect celebration or the perfect gathering or the perfect gift or the perfect anything, the minute you decide it has to be perfect, you've already stressed yourself out. And that is actually what they have found as one of the number one reasons for these seasonal affective depression over the holidays. Now, granted, there are other elements in place, but there's a study out. I think I found it on the on Health Coach Network, I believe is where I found it. I have to look that up. But what they're saying is that the number one reason for the number one reason for anxiety, and the number one reason for a feeling that the holiday was a disaster when it really wasn't, is this idea that it wasn't the perfect thing. So for those of you out here looking for perfect, this is for you. The world's not perfect. We humans, far from perfect. You can enjoy an imperfect moment, and I give you permission. If you need the permission, this is your permission slip to not have a perfect moment, to have an enjoyable moment, to trust that something will go wrong, because it always does. Something's always not right, so something will go wrong. Something will not follow your plan, because the universe does not always follow our plan. It follows whatever, and then there are other elements in play naturally that impact that moment. So this is your permission slip to understand that, or to not to understand. Let me rephrase this. This is your permission slip to accept that nothing is going to be perfect, and your gut, your health, your mental well-being all deserve for you to just enjoy the moment as it is, however it plays out. If the turkey gets burnt, if the tree falls over, if the cat climbs up it, or the toddlers grab the ornaments and they pull down the tree, which by the way has already happened. We won't tell my husband. If anything goes wrong, I'm not saying smile, but take a deep breath and know that there's an 80-20 rule in place. That's just 20% of it. So go enjoy the 80% that's left. Okay. And that's going to leave you with just this final thing that I actually tied into ditching the perfect. Have fun. Enjoy. 2 years ago, we couldn't do this. Remember, life is fleeting. There's some of you out there that lost loved ones. I follow Twitch a lot. I followed his story since the beginning. I followed he and Allison's story, and my heart breaks for her. It totally does, like a lot of yours. And there's a lot to be said about this season reminding us of loss that we've experienced throughout the year. But we can also take that and remind ourselves of the happy and positive memories. Because 2 years ago, I keep harping on that because there's so many people out there who've forgotten that just a couple years ago, we weren't able to really leave our houses. And if we did, we were taking a big risk. And, losing loved ones, losing friendships, relationships. With that loss, there was also positivity. And we can honor those losses as we embrace the positive, happy, and joyous parts of this season. So I'm going to summarize those 10 tips again, just so it's concise and it's here. Hi, Kinsey Mac. And then I'm going to say Merry Christmas and let you get on to celebrating your holiday. All right, you guys. Here's your 10 summarized again. Get me time in every day, even if it's just for a minute. Practice gratitude every day in whatever way you possibly can. Be sure to have some breathing exercises, some mindset exercises in your arsenal every day. Be mindful of your stress levels. Don't go into reactive mode. Proactive is where you want to be. You want offense, not defense. Be present. Eat well. Follow that 80-20 rule. Okay? Let it out. Schedule swamp time. Do not let things sit in your brain. Get moving. Make sure that you're active for at least 20 minutes a day. All right? Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Yep, 3 times. There you go. And then finally, ditch the idea of perfect and have fun. Embrace the fun. Merry Christmas, you guys. And if you celebrate anything other than Christmas, please, I would love to hear your salutation for the season. Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever the salutation is, because I want to learn about these 14 holidays during this season. So, Merry Christmas. I will chat with you guys later. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next week. Bye.